Lexi.
Yes.
Bottle of red wine, as requested.
Right.
But before we get onto the plonk, we're going to have to get this recipe pretty much put together.
Work.
I'm going to make you work, yeah.
Okay.
But not a lot of work.
Okay.
Right? Because what we've got is we've got the coconut milk.
Right.
We've got the satay sauce, which was the yams, which is the best stuff. Hot and spicy, the way, you know, I like it. Fresh pineapple, and I've just cubed that up and just cut it into different shapes, the same with the Lebanese cucumber.
Right.
Some fresh coriander, we're going to garnish it with that. And we've got the Q lamb. We're going to take the coconut milk, we're going to put it straight into the pan here. Now all I've done is, because it really is hot and spicy, that sauce, and a lot of people think it's too spicy, I'm going to put the satay straight into that. So it's pretty much 50-50. Give it a little mix.
And that's all that's needed for the sauce for the lamb?
All that's needed for the sauce. Now all I've done here is a little bit of sesame oil and a little bit of peanut oil and mix them. Right, just to give it that Asian flavour. Yeah? I'm just going to pour it, just a couple of little bits of oil on top. And we're just going to mix them. Just mix them with your fingers. We just need a little bit of oil on top and then straight onto the grill. Over my shoulder. So all we're doing is we've just diluted that a little bit with the coconut milk, and that'll just reduce down a little bit and thicken up for us. Now have a smell at that.
That smells fantastic.
Now, doesn't that smell better than peanut butter?
It certainly does.
I'm going to take these straight off now. As you can do it two ways. We can pour some of it over.
Right.
Or you can just get the actual...
And stick them straight in the pot.
Just stick them straight in. Just tilt it a little bit, yeah?
Right.
And see that? I'm just going to... And just let them cool down a little bit. You see, they're absolutely lovely and juicy. They're still cooking, remember?
Why cucumber and pineapple?
Well, what it does is, if it's too spicy for people, and it's great, just refreshing too as well, as far as just refreshing your mouth. And then what we're going to do is...
Finish it off with some coriander.
Just finish that off with a little bit of coriander. Okay. Now, doesn't that absolutely look beautiful, simple? And it smells divine, doesn't it?
It smells delicious.
If you like your satays mild, just cut back on the satay sauce and add more coconut milk. Cut in onions. Now today's tip is, one of the commonest questions I get asked is, how do you get those onions really, really small? Well, I'm going to show you today because it's very simple, but the same again. It takes a little bit of practice. Okay, so we're going to take the knife and we're going to have our 3 fingers and our thumb at the back of the onion. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use those 3 front fingers. Okay, and what we're going to do is just run the knife straight through like that, moving the fingers back every time I cut, straight through. Okay, keeping your hand and your thumb on top of the knife, keeping your thumb at the back of the onion and your fingers out the road. You just move your fingers and that dictates how big a dice we want. And then just run your knife about 2 or 3 centimetres up, another 2 or 3 centimetres up, and we're going to cut it 3 ways up. And then what we're going to do is just pretty much chop the onion as fine as we want it. Now if you want it a little bit finer than this, I'm going to show you what to do, yeah? Then what I do is just run your knife 3 or 4 times through what you've already chopped. But one other little tip. So the onion's chopped and the tears are going to start coming down, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to suck on this teaspoon and it cuts out the tears. Mind you, it looks stupid. Right, Jim's tip today is going to be Italian meringue, and we're going to be doing lemon meringue pie. Let's get the sugar and the water on the go, yeah? For the caramel, we're going to do 180 grams. That's a bit spot on. And I've got 3 tablespoons of water. And all we're going to do is we're going to put that on the stove. And that takes about 12 or 13 minutes, okay? Now come on, have a little look at this, right? We're going to take it up to about 121 Celsius, which is about there. And all I've done through the cooking process, a little bit of water around, because what happens is that sugar starts reducing down, all the little sugar particles crystallise at the top, and if one of them fall in, it will crystallise a whole load of sugar and it's no good. Sugar's nearly ready, so 3 egg whites straight in the mixer. They'll take about 2 minutes. egg whites are nearly ready, so take a look at that. I'm going to grab the sugar. Okay, as you can see with the sugar there, nice and hot. And what we're going to do is we're going to pour that straight into the egg white. Take it up to the high speed in the machine. And if you feel the bottom of that bowl is really, really hot. Now what we're doing now is we're going to cook the meringue, and that's going to take a couple of minutes now, probably about 7 or 8 minutes to cool down. And when that's cool, the bottom of the bowl, that's when you know it's ready. And that's when we can put it straight on the meringue. 7 minutes, that's it ready. Beautiful. That's exactly what we want. Tap trays here, and what we're going to do is we're just going to spoon that in. I got my Bunsen burner. We're going to light that gas, and what we're going to do it, look at that. Beautiful. We don't have to stick them in the oven, and you're not going to have a big gooey mess the next day. Now look at these. Beautiful little lemon meringue pies. And I'm going to try a bit. On today's show, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be doing swordfish skewers, right? Kebabs. So what we've got is we've got a 500 gram piece of swordfish here. Now what I've done is I've just taken the skin off, but I want to show you the skin because it's a really dark fleshed skin. Quite a bit of fat underneath that too as well. So what I've done is I've just taken that off. Now we could cook on that and crisping her up with some Maldon sea salt, but we're not going to do that today because what we're going to be doing is skewers, and we're going to be doing a lovely fresh oriental salad too. Now one of the things that we've got to do with it is we've got to remove this bloodline. Now that's really simple. And most of your fishmongers will actually take this off for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to roll the knife round, cutting it through, and then pulling that back up and cutting straight through again, and that'll just pop straight off. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut dices. So what I'm going to do is just about an inch. I'm going to cut it into 3. 1, 2. We're going to be doing a wet rub on this. Now what the wet rub's going to be is a little bit of tom yum paste, and we're going to be putting some fresh lime with it. We're also going to be using some sesame oil, some peanut oil with it, and then we're just going to be cooking them in a pan and then putting it on top of the oriental salad. I've got 2 really nice little skewers here. I picked these up in Europe a long time ago. They're actually antique now, and they're flat, so the fish isn't going to move around. So what we'll do is just poke that straight through. We're going to put about 5 or 6 in each of the skewers. Now what I've got here is got some tom yum paste. I've just bought tom yum paste from a little Chinese shop. I've got a little bit of sesame oil, 2 tablespoons of peanut oil to a teaspoon of sesame oil, a little bit of soy sauce. We're going to use some of this for the dressing too. We're just going to quickly mix that up, and we're just going to paint that on. Let's go over and we'll get the pan sizzling. We're going to put it on medium. A little bit of the peanut oil and sesame oil mix that we've got in a little bottle here. Not too much. I'm just going to let that sizzle around. We've got the green papaya. Now this is what the green papaya looks like. All you do is we take all these seeds out, we take the skin off it. We get the Lebanese cucumber, or use continental cucumber, whatever you've got. We're going to be using a little bit of fresh lime in this recipe too. Fresh coriander, no Asian salad's complete without it. Bean shoots. Now a really good thing about the bean shoots is keep it in cold water, put a little bit of lemon juice in there, and that will keep them nice and white and fresh for when you go to use your salad. I've used some beans here, and I've cut them up, just quickly blanched them for about 30 seconds in hot boiling water with salt, remember, because that's what keeps it green, and a little bit of shallot. Yeah, come on over and see what I'm going to do here. Very important. So I've got a really hot pan here. We're going to put them in, and we're just going to cook them on 2 sides. Now I'm just going to turn that heat down because it's a really thick pan, it holds a lot of heat, and what I want to do is keep that fish a little bit pink in the middle, medium rare. Let's put the salad together. I've got a glass bowl here. I've got the shredded green papaya. It's quite savoury, it's not sweet like, it's not ripe, and that's what you get. You really get a lovely texture. I'm going to be putting the cucumber in there too as well. The shallots. Okay, I've got the beans. I'm going to put a little bit of coriander in here too as well. That's fresh coriander. Now look at it, just starting to take shape. I'm going to put a little bit of lime juice into as well, just half a lime. Let's go over and turn the swordfish. It's been about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Let's have a look at it. Ooh, look at that now. You see how nice and moist they still are? A lot of juice in there. We're only going to do them for about 3 minutes because that's really all it takes. We're going to put some of these bean shoots straight in here. Now this salad makes enough for about 2 people. So I'm just going to show you a little trick here. This is what I do. When I get to the bottom of the jars that I use, I actually use these for the dressings, which make life a lot easier. We're just going to give that a good shake, and we're just going to pour this into the salad. Now look at the colour that I'm getting from that. Absolutely fantastic. Now that's been about 1.5 minutes, so let's have a look at the swordfish. Now look at them. They're actually still a little bit firm in the middle, and that's what we're looking at. We're going to turn these off, and we're just going to leave them at the side there. And doesn't that salad look the business? Okay, so I'm just going to mix that with my fingers, get all those flavours through into the salad, the green beans. Okay, so we're just going to put this straight onto the plate. Like so. Right. We've got half lime, which I'm going to just put in the side there. We're going to take our kebabs, or skewers, whatever you want to call them. I like calling them kebabs, and East meets West. So we're going to take a little bit of that dressing. We're just going to pour that over the side and over the top. And that's it. Barbecued swordfish, Geraldton swordfish mind you, which is absolutely scandalous, with an oriental salad and tom yum dressing.
Swordfish. It's readily available at most fishmongers these days, and with this simple recipe, you can't go wrong. Give it a try.